you know, I always look like an everyman. You know that?
Well, I used to get cast in ads as every man.
Yeah. I was up in Brisbane. I'm not going to say Bris Vegas. That's cliched, man. Brisbane's come along a lot.
From being what?
Oh, a bit of a backwater, don't you reckon?
Well, I don't like to say it, but any time I've been there, it's been a really good city.
You've had fun.
I've had fun. I've been to the swimming pool in the middle of the city, and
someone died there. You mean the lagoon, the man-made lagoon?
Yeah, died there.
Backpacker drowned. I was telling people that when I was there up in Brisbane.
Drowned, as in just a normal drowning.
Yeah, in that lagoon, they drowned. I think a few people have drowned in that lagoon. So people don't know, when you go to South Bank in Brisbane, you can't swim. The thing about Brisbane, you go, oh, it's so hotty, but there's no beaches.
That's very true.
You're inland.
Yeah, that's very true.
And it's so hot, and so they built this man-made lagoon.
So it's got like sand and things.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
And it's near the river, isn't it, kind of?
Yeah.
Near the river.
Yeah.
But no, someone drowned there. I know for a fact someone drowned there. Anyway,
Anyway.
I was doing a gig.
Hello, Brisbane.
Love Brisbane. My brother used to live there. Now he's moved to Toowoomba, where it's a
Right.
bit more temperate. And he met his third wife on the internet who lived in Toowoomba.
Do we know that information? Third wife? Did you go to his third wedding? Did you go to every wedding?
He didn't actually marry the first one. We had a kid with her. They were like they were married. So we say third wife.
Because when people have the third one, you go, well, I came to 1 and 2. Now, am I going to be wasting another gift?
Am I getting my toaster back from number 2?
Yeah, the vase that I gave you for number 1. Is that still
I know.
where because I don't want you to be wasting a good present.
Well, my dad did say, I've already been to a wedding in Queensland for Trevor. I'm not going to another one. Well, no, it's a different woman, Dad.
So is he still with that third wife?
Yeah. Let's go. Toowoomba, he loves Toowoomba. Toowoomba's good. Toowoomba's a mild climate compared to Brisbane.
Where is it on the...
It's inland.
Inland
a bit.
It would be. It's a magnificent climate. Having said that, is that near the floods they've had over late?
Oh, no, but Toowoomba had bad floods years ago. Yeah, but a while ago where people died. It's all about people dying, this podcast. Grantham, where I think 8 people got killed. Oh, it's terrible. The water just came from nowhere.
What do you mean nowhere? Out of the sky, obviously.
No, but Toowoomba's in a valley. It's bizarre. It's in the top of a hill, in a valley, in the top of a hill, like a volcano.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Anyway, we're not
so
talking about that.
No, but
why are we talking about that?
Because you said you're in Brisbane, and
someone died in the pool.
Yeah.
No. So anyway, I was doing a gig for the timber industry for a Swedish company called I can't remember.
IKEA.
Yes. And anyway, the woman organising it says, I want to introduce you to the Swedish people that are here, because it's a Swedish company.
Can we do a Swedish accent?
Oh, yeah, of course you can. Sort of like that. It's a bit like my brother Glenn, who's Switzerland.
Hello, David. We like your comedy.
Yeah, that's it. That's from the Muppets, yeah. And so I get introduced to, like, Lars. It's the first. Well, it could have been Bjorn. Bjorn and Benny. No, I was thinking it was Lars. He's like, hello there. And the woman, Deb, goes, this is David. He's a comedian. He's going to be entertaining us. And then he said, you should meet the other Swedish person here, Eric. Like Eric the Viking.
Eric the Lars, yeah, sure.
Because I said to Lars, I'm going to Sweden this year. I'm actually going in June.
Oh, yeah, wonderful.
Oh, yeah, I've never been, Glenn. Have you been to Sweden?
No.
No, you think of the chef in the Muppets. He's Swedish, isn't he?
Yes.
So I'd never been to Sweden, and because I'm going to see my brother in France, actually, my twin, because we both turned 60 this year.
Because you're twins and you both turned 60 on the same day?
On the same day, because we're twins. Yeah. Well, sometimes twins have different birthdays if they're born on the midnight.
No, you're right. Yeah.
But very
rarely.
There was only 20 minutes apart between me and Glenn.
So you get, when it comes to attention on the day, you don't get as much attention like the rest of us. Because we get 100%, you get 50% of attention.
Yeah, well, I get a lot of attention for 20 minutes, and then I say you can walk in the room, Glenn, after 20, because I was first born.
Ah,
You
yeah.
just enter the room after 20, stay out there,
Yeah.
stay in the cupboard.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I said I'm going to, because, I've been overseas a bit because Glenn lives over there.
Mm.
And I said to Kieran, I want to go somewhere I've never been. I've been to France. Bloody tons, I don't want to sound blasé. I've been to France a bit. Switzerland, all that. And so I want to go to Sweden. Anyway, I'm telling Lars this. I'm going to go to Sweden, go to Stockholm. Yeah. He goes, bring over Eric. Anyway, Eric comes over. He's also from the Swedish timber company. And Lars goes, this is Dave, Eric, Dave. Dave's coming to Sweden. And Eric goes, oh, you're coming to Sweden. We have to show you around the operation. We have 5 timber yards, some sawmills.
Oh, wow.
We can even take you to the forest where the trees are chopped down. And then Lars goes, no, Eric, he's not from the timber industry. They thought I was from the timber industry.
Yeah.
He goes, I thought you owned a sawmill. You look like a sawmill owner-operator. Well, thanks.
Well, you know.
Well, they are all my age,
Well,
roughly.
you could still go there.
I could still go.
You could go and see where the trees are growing. That would be interesting. And then you could go to the sawmill.
Sawmill?
Well, yeah, it's always interesting.
Wouldn't it be much better if it was like a chocolate factory or...
Of course, for you to be a chocolate factory. But
or a brewery even. I'd love to see Carlsberg brewery somewhere. Have a nice fresh, Carlsberg. That's Swedish, I think.
So it's a timber. Do they
Danish.
Do they make furniture?
No, they just chop the trees down.
And they bring wood to Australia.
No, they own sawmills all around the world, basically. So
I
think they take the Australian wood, actually, is what's going on
and
there.
chop it up.
Yeah, chop it up.
And then that's all they do.
They're not IKEA. They probably sell it to IKEA.
Yeah, probably.
Should have asked Lars.
Yeah, you should have.
What's the connection with IKEA?
Yeah, I mean, anyway.
Anyway, I apparently look like a sawmill owner-operator. So that's good.
Well, it just means that you're an everyman.
A man of the people.
Man of the people, and so therefore, if you ever wanted to play that character, or you wanted to get a job, God forbid,
In the
sawmill, just go. What qualifications have you got? Oh, well, I'm an ex-school teacher, but I also look like I work in a sawmill.
And I always ask the sawmill operator, show us your hands, how many fingers have you lost?
Yeah.
And occasionally they have lost a finger.
Really?
On the sawmill.
It's like when I got scuba diving instruction. The guy had a missing finger.
What from?
Well, when you see he's got a missing finger, then you stop listening to what he's talking about because you're going, oh, he's probably had it bitten off by a shark. Are we going where there are sharks? What could possibly happen? And you don't like to, when someone's got a missing finger,
you don't like to ask.
Well, you don't like to ask because they've had to tell that story so many times before.
Well, we used to do this gig in Geelong, and the guy that ran it had a hook as a hand. He had a hook as a hand, and the other comics are going, oh, look, don't mention the hook. Don't mention the hook. So we turn up there, and Greg Fleet, the comedian, was with us. And so we turn up, we're going, how are you going? We shake his other hand, we don't shake the hook.
Oh, you're good like that.
Yeah, we're good like that. And we're standing there, and Greg Fleet...
Because that's a Boy Scout handshake.
Yeah, left handshake was his right hand.
Yeah.
And then Greg Fleet just goes, what happened to your hand? He goes, car accident. Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. He told us straight off.
It's like, I think I told the story before when I had dinner with the guy who was James Bond.
Oh, yeah. The Australian guy.
Yeah. And as I'm walking towards the table, because it was at a function, I'm going, don't ask him about James Bond. Don't ask him about James Bond. Within 20 seconds, he was telling the story of James Bond.
Lazenby.
George Lazenby. Yeah. Well done. He was telling the story of how he became James Bond. We then talked about it for the next hour. And it was one of the most fascinating dinners I've ever had. But part of me is going, either he doesn't get out much and tell this story, or he's just very, very generous. Because to make him tell that story again, I mean...
Wow.
Yeah, so...
I always say to people when they approach you, don't talk about Russell Coight. Don't talk about Russell Coight. They turn the corner, you've got the hat on.
Yeah.
What's a photo?
Yeah. I don't...
You got your nuts stuck in the something
It's like
somewhere.
when I got in the cab that day and I going to the airport and I said, oh, g'day, mate, how are you? What time did you start today? He goes, I don't talk about that. You go, well, hey.
Well, I told you when I got in that cab in Sydney. And,
and then he said to me, oh, you're that guy from TV. And I went, I don't talk about that.
I don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, when I got in the cab in Sydney, the guy goes, you're a comedian? Yeah. And we talk, we have a good chat. And he goes, tell you who's not friendly? That Ernie Dingo. I said, well, what happened with Ernie Dingo? He got in the cab. And I love Ernie Dingo, mate. I said, g'day, Ernie Dingo, how you going? Ernie Dingo just said, not interested.
Well, that's rude.
Not interested.
Yeah. It's like the time I turned up to a gig in Canberra and Bob Franklin had hosted it the year before, and all the way in the not in the cab, the hire car, the driver talked about how funny Bob Franklin was, which is fine.
Yeah, of course.
Which is fine.
He's funny.
Then I go, he's absolutely one of the best. And then I go and do the gig, and he stays at the gig and watches it, and then we get back in to go home, and then he goes back to talking about how funny Bob Franklin is. You go, hang on a sec. Maybe chuck in a little bit of,
Yeah,
you know, what
you're a good turn.
yeah, good, and then go back. But just don't go straight back to how funny Bob Franklin is.
Boy,
you know.
look, play the music anyway. Here we are.
Welcome to Somehow Related Now. Please welcome your hosts Glenn Robbins and Dave O'Neill.
Anyway, welcome to the podcast. Somehow related. We get two topics. Got to work out how they're related. That's it.
Yeah.
I should mention I'm doing Adelaide. I mentioned it last time, but if you didn't listen,
So you're doing a lot of gigs.
long weekend. Yeah, 8 nights.
Doing 3 days.
3 nights at 5 p.m. It's a good time. You have dinner
you
afterwards.
in a tent or something?
Yeah, outdoor in a shipping container, kind of, you know, like a natural.
Hope it's not hot. It's been very hot in Adelaide.
Oh man, it was hot last year.
Hard to laugh when you're hot.
Oof, tell me
Yeah.
about it. How to
Yeah.
perform when you're hot.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. But
Well-
good on you for getting out there and doing
We'll
it.
see what happens. We'll see what happens, Glenn.
Yeah.
All right, should we get our topics?
Oh, yes, please.
What are the topics, Sam?
Dave Chappelle and the artist formerly known as Prince.
Wow, Prince. I like Prince. I reckon I've only ever owned one of his albums. Some,
Is that what he does?
yeah, Kiss. The one Raspberry Beret. That album.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You were a raspberry.
Do you reckon I've ever had a Prince album?
No,
No, of course not.
no.
I haven't. Do you
I think
reckon
people I
I've-
live with had the one. You know, like okay, hit me with some Prince songs. Hit me. Oh, When Doves Cry.
Yeah.
This is what it sounds like.
Oh, you're
When
good.
Doves Cry.
Your Red Corvette.
A Little Red Corvette. That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Purple
Purple Rain.
Oh, that's a great song, actually.
Sing it.
Purple Rain.
Purple.
Rain.
I'm doing this pretty well. I think Let's Go Crazy.
Oh, yeah. Remember Shaka Khan was in his band? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, Shaka Khan.
Didn't he write for Chaka Khan?
He wrote, and he also wrote Manic Monday for the Bangles. Just another Manic Monday. Whoa.
See, he
Great
likes to write
song.
likes to write for other people.
He's a good songwriter.
Yeah, very good songwriter.
What did he die of? He lived in
Overdose.
Minneapolis, didn't he?
Overdose, wasn't it?
Minneapolis, wasn't it? Is that where he lived?
I think so. I don't know. But he died of an overdose back in 15 or 16, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
I'm just trying
He
to
was
think.
only little. Wouldn't
What-
have taken much to...
I think he was you know who went back to his house? Eric Banner.
What?
Yeah.
Eric Banner went back to Prince's house.
Yeah, Prince. What are you doing? You want to come back to my place?
Where was this?
I think it might have been after an awards night.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe it was New Year's Eve and he went back to Prince and he said he was standing there and nothing was happening. Then he turned around and looked and Prince was up there playing his guitar, dressed in purple.
Purple.
Yeah.
Purple was his signature. Remember when he changed his name to a symbol?
Yeah, that's right.
That was... I didn't know this. That was because of a record company dispute.
Oh, because ownership.
Yeah, apparently. I met a tech once. I did a gig somewhere, and the tech was telling me when he worked in a Brisbane hotel, Prince was staying there, right? And
Yeah.
they had a bit of a nightclub venue in the basement. And after Prince's concert at a big arena, he came and did a set in the nightclub basement. Said it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So you've never seen him live.
No.
But would you have liked to?
Yeah, I reckon I would.
Yeah.
One of the women at Pilates, I did Pilates, Tony, went and saw him at the concert hall, and it was just him and a piano playing his songs. She said it was unbelievable.
Him at which concert hall? In Melbourne?
Yeah, years ago. Yeah, a few years ago.
Just sort of doing the acoustic version
Yeah.
of Prince. I wonder if he strutted around a little bit.
Yeah. What do you got the purple stuff on?
Hey, look, he's an incredible artist, but you don't like to talk about how tall he is, but
No.
how tall do you reckon he is?
I reckon he's Grant Denyer height. What do you reckon, he's Rove height or Grant Denyer? What do you reckon in terms of Australian?
I reckon. Well, hang on, who's shorter?
Well, Grant Denyer's shorter than Rove.
Is that obvious? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I've met them both. You've met them both.
Yeah, but I
Definitely.
don't think of those in those terms.
Alright.
Do you like a little mental note on how tall people are?
Yeah, where the little folk are.
I tell you who's very tall. Andy Lee and Hamish Blake.
They are tall.
They are very.
They are tall.
And when you're with them, you feel quite short.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So when you're with Rove and
Grant.
how do you feel?
Tall. Daryl Summers. Get them all together. The
Daryl's-
three amigos.
Daryl's not. He's not.
He's not.
Who's the shortest in Australia?
Grant Denyer.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, in
'Cause-
terms of like show business people, yeah, he's little.
I was at the studios the other day where they film the Case show.
Deal or No Deal.
Does he do that?
Yep.
Yeah. I stood on his spot.
Oh.
Whatever. And all the girls said to me, will you come on? I went, no, come on, open the case.
Deal or No Deal.
Yeah. Should I look up how tall he is?
Go on. You know, he's the one of the few people that said no to Weird Al Yankovic.
In terms of what?
Parodying his songs. Because he said...
Weird Al...
Weird Al's actually got to ask permission. Because Michael Jackson said yes. You go for it. You go for it, Weird Al. Bubbles wants to speak to you.
Okay, it's just come in how tall he is.
Yep.
1.57.
But what is that in foot?
I don't know.
Just go
Well, Michael Jackson says he is 1.75.
Yeah, he's taller than
I'm 180. What are you?
I'll be about 180.
No, you'd be more than that. You're like 6'2", aren't you?
I'm 6'1", but I don't stand up straight.
Yeah.
Okay, now get Rove and Grant Denyer up there.
You know I'm slow at this. Okay.
No, okay, well...
Okay, fair enough. Rove, how tall? I'm looking it up. Bear with us on this one. But hello, Rove, if you're listening and we're going into... Rove... Rove is shorter than Prince. Prince was 1.75. Rove is 1.72.
And Grant Denyer, have a guess.
1.68.
1.64.
Wow.
Wow. Hey.
Wow.
You don't get this information anywhere else. Daryl Summers? Okay. Let's do Daryl.
I mean, in fairness.
What are you saying? What are you saying, Daryl?
I'm going to say Daryl would be 1.78.
1.78. Okay.
Whatever that means.
Drum roll. 1.7.
There you go. I'm not far off.
So hang on. Is Daryl the same as Prince or the same?
Daryl's shorter
than Rove. Bert.
You know what?
What is Bert? What is Bert?
Bert?
Yeah.
Bert would be as tall as... Bert was tall.
1.83.
Yeah.
Don Lane, the lanky Yank.
I'd say 6'3". I think he'd be 185.
1.93.
Oh, there you go.
Wilbur Wilde.
Wilbur's 6'3".
1.91.
If you brought up tall people...
Denise Drysdale.
When you bring old showbiz people...
Yeah, but just comes up.
Yeah, because people often look at this sort of stuff.
Denise Drysdale. 1.68.
Do you think it would be funny to have a party where all the short people in the Australian show business got together, and then you put them in a room and do a photograph session? I mean, would that be a theme for an article? The short people of showbiz? That'd be a great article.
Larry Emder.
Is that another one?
Larry Emder.
Yeah.
1.63.
No,
that's wrong.
No, he can't. Maybe his stature is.
Don't you reckon that's wrong?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Andrew O'Keefe. 1.79.
Yeah, well, he's in normal range.
He's in all range.
Yeah.
That's from his mugshot. That's from the
anything over 175 it's got to be in normal range, and I don't know what that is. Are you still in old school? I
talk in feet. I talk in feet.
Yeah, in inches. So if someone says about 3 mil, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
What is 3 mil?
3 millimeters.
Well,
that's in centimeters.
Do it in fingers then. Okay. Well, okay.
So inches are like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
And if I wanted to describe something that big, my penis.
I go 1.5 inches.
Yeah, but what is that in metric? What's that? 10 mil.
I don't say mil. I say centimeters. That'd be 4 centimeters.
See, this is where I get confused.
4 centimeters.
4 centimeters.
That's 40 mil, isn't it?
See, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But anyway,
it's like when stuff's for sale on
podcast. I can't believe.
Well, what else can we say about Prince?
What else can we say about Prince?
We can move on from Prince.
Yeah, look,
he was great. He was a great artist.
He
was a great.
Sadly missed. I think he would have been. I don't know. He's a similar age to me. Died in 2016. He would be in his late 60s now if he was alive. Songwriter, musician, well loved, quite closed off to the world.
Yes. Bit of a recluse,
reclusive.
I think. Yeah.
What
Edward Scissorhands, sort of living on a hill probably. He lived in a castle, didn't he? Like in a...
He wouldn't have surprised
sort
me.
of a mansion place.
Yeah.
Minneapolis or Philadelphia? Minneapolis, I think it was.
Yeah.
One of those places.
And did he have a wife, a family, kids?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And did he ever... He came to Australia. Obviously, there was a time when he came to Australia. Mm-hmm. His last album would have been back in 2015, I would imagine. I don't know what else we can say, except highly talented, sadly missed.
Yeah. Valet Prince. Let's talk about Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle. I've listened to some of his specials. He's quite funny.
It's interesting, isn't it? I would say when things pop up on Instagram or on whatever, when Dave Chappelle comes up, he really, really makes me laugh.
Yeah, he's funny.
He's like, and he's easily. I mean, you don't like to rank them, but he's up there with the best.
He's controversial though.
He jumps right over the line.
Oh my God!
And he does some stuff that is like, I go, can you say that? Why aren't you being? And then he talks about him being cancelled, and then he puts it into his routine, like a lot of those guys do.
Yeah,
just really brave.
One special I watched, he opens by talking about Anthony Bourdain killing himself.
Yeah.
So for people that don't know, he was a great food writer. I interviewed him actually. He's a great food writer.
Yep.
Wrote Kitchen Confidential, I think.
He did,
anyway, he wrote books.
Yep.
And he did all these food shows. He travelled the world. And he just comes on and he goes, Anthony Bourdain, he killed himself. A white guy travelling the world killed himself in Paris. His job was to eat nice food. And he killed himself. And then he goes, why would you, why would he, he's got the best job in the world. And then he talks about a guy he went to school with who started doing a law degree but then dropped out, had a fight with his wife and ended up working at Foot Locker, and he would wear the uniform. And he goes, this guy could have been anything. Now he's like an assistant manager at Foot Locker. He goes, he should kill himself. Yeah. It's like, now that's pretty bleak, but it's brave.
Yeah, he's very brave. And
do you think he's offensive though? Have you heard I was listening to his... I don't watch or listen to many comedy specials, to be honest.
I struggle with the whole special.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
You know what I do? Here's a tip. When I'm going for a long drive, say Ballarat.
You record it and then...
No, you just put Netflix on, press play, plug it into your system, and you'll just hear it.
Yeah.
And I love listening to stand-up. Watching it, not so much.
Watching it, I don't know, you get bored.
Yeah, it's boring.
Yeah.
But listening to it as you're driving along is great.
No, I thought of that the other day, but that is a good idea. I usually slightly disappointed when I see the greats. Slightly disappointed because they're not holding me. Gervais will nearly hold me.
Oh, I was listening to Ronnie Chang special. That was funny as I was driving along. Chris Rock, I've heard his. Bill Burr, I listened to a lot of his specials.
Bill Burr is the other one that really makes me laugh.
Yeah, he's
now, here is the question. Do I laugh most at the offensive stuff? Yes, I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do.
I like the kind of the...
No, but I don't single it out. But I just find myself.
I just like some of the asides. So in Dave Chappelle special, he talks about Walmart and he talks about what toilet you have to use in Walmart.
Yeah.
He goes, just imagine I'm in Walmart in Ohio where he lives and I'm shopping with my family. Now, if that actually ever happens, let it be known that I've had a very bad downturn in my life. It just makes me laugh.
Yeah. His father was a voice coach.
Really?
A professor or something at Utah.
Really?
University or something. So Chappelle's voice is magnificent.
Oh, his voice is great. And when he does voices too.
Yeah.
He does, he says in one bit, and I'm going to talk to you like a pimp talks, and he does a pimp's voice. It's very funny.
Yeah, look, his skills are phenomenal.
Did you see his sketch show? Much of his that he walked away from?
I remember seeing it going, who is this guy? How good is this? And that whole form of a bit of stand-up going into sketch was not stolen. I mean, he didn't originate that, but geez, he did it well. It's a great show. And then by the third season, I think it was too overwhelmed by it.
And he walked away and went to Africa.
He walked away. He says, it's all too much.
Have you ever met him?
No, I'd love to meet him. I get the feeling.
He would love to meet you.
Well, have you got his number? You've got everyone's number in your phone.
No, not people
wouldn't
like
surprise
not
me.
international.
It wouldn't surprise me if you're one person removed, though. I bet you know someone who knows him.
You know who I know is a big fan, because I remember trying to get him to do a gig for me, Nazeem, Hussain, and he said, I'm flying to Sydney to watch his show and hang out with him. Because he'd already been to Melbourne and seen David Chappelle, but he was going to Sydney as well. Because I think he's a huge fan.
He's a huge fan. Has he met him?
Yeah, he's met him.
How did he get to meet him?
Well, I think it's the same management company. Or touring company.
Well, that's a nice guy. He's a nice guy.
Naz. Shall we ring Naz? Let's ring Naz.
Ring Naz and find out if he's got inside info.
All right, here we go.
Hello.
Naz.
Tell Naz what's happening, because he probably doesn't realise he's going to be on a podcast.
Oh, Naz.
Yeah, I'm here.
Naz, we're ringing you to talk about David Chappelle. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Are you in the middle of something? I mean, we've rung you.
I've just gone into the car now, so I can, this is just safe space. I was just in an office with some other people, just as a writer's room. Just talking around.
What is Nazeem working on?
Yeah.
Incubating ideas, just bringing imagination to the screen.
Yeah. Some of your sketches still turn up on Facebook from your sketch show. They're very funny with Ronnie's in there, and
they're getting milked. It's almost like more people are watching the stuff now than they did back in the day on
Yeah, it's
SBS.
funny
So,
that.
it's funny when the white guy has to have a day off for some reason. That's a funny sketch.
I remember when it went to air, like people were like, "Oh, this is just inappropriate and controversial," whereas now, like all the young kids, that's just kind of like that's their sort of sense of humor now. So it's like, in a way, comedy was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
It didn't relate to anybody back then except for like,
what was it called, Naz? That show?
Huh?
What was it called?
Legally Brown.
That's right, Legally Brown. And
yes,
how many episodes did you do?
Well, it did 2 seasons of 10, so 20 episodes, but then a sketch on Channel 7 called Orange is the New Brown, which was 8 episodes, which was a very weird commission because it was on straight after Home and Away, and it was like, they had like a directive, I don't know if you've ever, they say roast chicken. Is it roast chicken? You know, which means like everybody likes roast chicken, you know, and if a sketch is, they're like, oh, that's a bit teriyaki chicken. We need to make it more roast chicken. You know?
Well, no, I remember when my friends, the Crud guys, went to Triple M and the guy said, "You blokes have been at Triple R. That's weird sex. We're missionary sex." Triple M is missionary sex. You boys remember that?
Well, we have like on the whiteboard, like we stuck up all of the couples, all of the families from Gogglebox, and so there was like the Asian couple, and there was like the Greek couple, and there was like these 2 Aussie couples, like this like older guy, older woman. They were like
the bald guy, the bald guy.
Yeah. And we had a circle around our family, like, would they laugh at this? Would they get it? And if it passed that test, then it would make it to air.
What?
So it was Orange is the New Brown.
Well, me and Glenn have both worked on commercial TV, and I've done a lot of commercial radio, and we used to have a guy at Triple M or Nova used to say, "Mate, you've got to ask your question. Does a plumber in Croydon give a fuck about what you're talking about?"
Fair statement, I reckon.
Yeah, but you know what? It's because he told us off for talking about German submarine movies, and I said, well, maybe he's interested in. A lot of people love Das Boat or whatever, you know.
I reckon like a lot of men kind of get into that sort of World War stuff and, you know, history.
Yeah.
They become history buffs. You know, it's sort of just like that is almost like a men's subject to talk. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like people need to reimagine what plumbers in Croydon care about.
He's underestimating some of these guys' intelligence. Anyway, look, we're not here. Hey, now, Dave Chappelle, how did you meet him?
No. How did he get to meet you? Actually, because you're the big guy in town. Yeah.
I prefer that question.
Yeah.
I'll answer your question, Glenn.
Yeah,
It was he came to Australia 2013 to open or to do some shows, and actually, my manager, Beck Sutherland, was promoting this show, the tour. She said that it was on merit that I got to be one of the opening acts, but I reckon it was certainly some sort of, what do you call it? Is it nepotism when your manager kind of recommends it?
Yeah.
Anyway, he said he had a bunch of openers, so myself, Ronnie Cheng, Matt O'Kine, I think Luke McGregor, Luke met him in Adelaide. But anyway, I remember like, I was a massive fan of his. My show Legally Brown, like the format like of stand-up in studio, throwing sketches. We actually had a DJ as well, which he didn't know, has served no purpose. It was based pretty much exactly on Dave Chappelle's Chappelle show, and I remember telling him that. But I was back at the Palais. I met him. First time I properly got starstruck in my life. My Katie, the producer of the show, she was like, "Nazeem, here's Dave. Dave, here's Nazeem." It was backstage, and then he said, "Hey, Naz," and I remember just looking at him, and I couldn't say anything. Actually, no words came out of my mouth because I used to love it. And then Katie said, "Nazeem's real excited to meet you." That was the first time I spoke to him. It was via Katie.
He gives off a good energy. I think he seems like a cool cat. He's obviously a very smart guy. He's incredibly funny. Did you get to have a bit of a conversation with him? Did he make it easy, or was it? How did it go?
When I did my set, I was performing, like I opened, I think it was like maybe 10 minutes, and I was performing my heart out because I was like, Dave Chappelle is going to see this, and I want him to love me. And I don't think he was even, I think he was asleep because and I remember he was like, "Good stuff, Nas." But anyway, I don't think he saw it. But then later, so the whole tour, I went to Sydney, did some shows in there as well. At the end of the whole tour, myself, Ronnie Cheng, and Matt O'Kine, we got to go to like the after party, which is in his hotel room, like the top floor, booked under some code name, and it was all of us, and then like a bunch of just random people hanging out. And Dave got on the piano and just started playing piano. We said to each other like, oh my god, like if we retire, if we never do another gig, this is it. We've made it. We're all such super fans. Then he comes over and he goes, guys, you're here for a reason, all right? This doesn't happen by accident. If next time I see you, you're gonna be somebody. You're gonna be somebody. And then the next time I saw him was like 2017, before Trump got elected. And a long story short, it was when he was warming up for his Saturday Night Live monologue, and I found myself opening for him again. And it was ridiculous. And genuinely, this is how I felt. That was one of the craziest crowds. I remember doing 10 minutes, and I was killing. And he was about to try new material. And I remember, like, mid-killer set, I was thinking to myself, oh, crap, I think I'm killing too much. How is he going to follow this?
Yes.
This is probably... And then he came on and took it to another level. And I was like, okay, that was a very arrogant thought.
Yeah.
But
Fair enough.
we were just all hanging out in the room. There was like 400 people in. I was hanging out, and I was talking to a guy who I later found out when we went to save numbers on our phone. He was a member of the Wu-Tang Clan. He was Ninth Prince, who wasn't very known, but I was talking to some guy from the Wu-Tang Clan for ages. And then at about 4 a.m., Bradley Cooper was there. It was very weird. At about 4 a.m., Dave kind of pushes through everybody and comes up to me. And because everyone is trying to talk to him, and he puts his arm around me and he goes, hey, everybody, this is Nas. Every time I come to Australia, I always get Nas to open for me. And it's only that one time, and I was like, oh, that's very nice. And then he started talking to me, and he's like, hey, man, congrats on that Netflix thing you're doing. I was doing a small correspondent role on Bill Nye Saves, like this Bill Nye show. And I was like, oh, my God, you knew it. Thank you so much. And he goes, and Ronnie, he's doing that Daily Show thing. I was like, yeah. And he goes, how's your boy Matt doing? You remembered Matt O'Kine? And I was like, yeah, he's doing like radio on Triple J. Like, yeah. And we had this chat and started talking about Trump and blah, blah, blah. And then he moved on. But like, he remembered.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. You had a moment together and he remembered. That's very satisfying. And it's good to hear that because, you know, obviously he meets a lot of people. A lot of people want to be funny. And you got to share a time and a great memory. So he's as cool as a cat as I thought he was. That's great. A great story.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, and this was before like he got into controversy. So, you know, I got to really savor that and post photos of it as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was good. I got a lot of social cred.
But what do you think about his controversy? We were just talking about that, how we find him very funny, but, you know, people were protesting against him and stuff. Like, what do you think about all that?
Oh, look, I think he kind of got a bit obsessed with talking about trans people for a while. Like, it became like the center of his act for several specials. People have called him a transphobe, but I actually feel like, well, he says he loves trans people. Like someone that doesn't like gay, like they don't say expressly, I love trans people. I feel like he has a lot of love for this community, but like, because he continues to make fun of them, like people call it transphobic, and I don't know, I feel like that is probably not true. I do think though, there was probably, I don't know, he probably could have joked about other things. Like maybe could have, I feel like kind of making them the center of his specials was
it's interesting.
That's what art is, though.
Choice.
That is what art is. And you can't, I mean, it's that thing about, you know, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but that's what I wanted to say, and that's how I feel about it. And you are having a reaction to it. So I'm achieving my aim, really. And unfortunately, if that comes with some sort of public outlash, you just go, at least he's honest to his art. You know, and I think he's not doing it for the sake of it. He's doing it because I want to make this observation, and I actually think it's funny. And I think it's a pretty good observation. So,
like he made it. One of his observations that he made in his first special about trans people was like, I was like, I get that. Like it was how he was saying, how come what's his face, Bruce Jenner can change his gender before before Cassius Clay could change his name. Like how come progress of white causes so much quicker? That makes us jealous as black people. Don't do that. Don't celebrate so much in front of the blacks. Sort of his point. I was like, I get that. I see that. Like. There's that sort of tension, which I was like, that is so true. If it's a white cause, like climate change always accelerates quicker than Black Lives Matter. Like it's always, I kind of get that.
Yeah.
So, you know, if it stopped there, I think he wouldn't have been piled on as much.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Hey, thanks, Naz. That's great
thanks,
stuff.
Naz. And where can we see you next?
Opening for Dave Chappelle.
You're doing all the festivals, aren't you, around Australia? I saw your poster. Yeah.
I'm going everywhere. I'm going. So I think first place Hobart, then Darwin, then Adelaide, and then Canberra, Brisbane, Perth, Sydney, just all of it.
And did your family travel with you at all?
I'm trying to take them to Darwin. We'll see how it goes.
Oh,
but
They're pretty little though, aren't they? No, they're pretty.
I've got 6, 2, and 2 months.
Nah,
or 3 months.
Stay at home.
Wow.
Leave them at home.
Dave's the experienced man to talk about that. He's done it all.
You'll do it once, Naz, and then you'll get off the plane. We did it once, and we got off the plane to that age group, and I said to my wife, never again. And we just went on driving holidays after that. Just drive down to the beach or somewhere. But you'll see. You'll see.
I've got to learn from experience, man. I've got to feel it.
Learn from the master. Wow, incredible that he met Dave Chappelle. Who's most? You met Seinfeld.
No, Seinfeld met me.
That's right. I'm trying to think of the most famous. I met Alexi Sale. I met Ben Elton. See, I'm more impressed by the British comics, actually, to be honest.
But I think meeting showbiz people, I don't know, after COVID, I don't know, fame doesn't mean as much as it used to mean, does it? I don't know, maybe it does.
You'd rather meet like an 80-year-old man who's still living and fit and active.
Well, I don't know, but there's something about, they're just blokes.
All right. And what about women meeting famous women? That doesn't, nothing new? Okay, hang on a minute. Pamela Anderson's over. He doesn't want to meet you. Go home. Yeah.
Anyway, look.
I'm looking forward to seeing that Pamela Anderson movie. You know, she plays a showgirl, an aging showgirl.
No.
Oh, this is what she's been nominated for all the awards for. She's doing serious acting, Glenn.
Good on her. Because I felt bad about watching the Pamela Anderson story with her and Tommy Lee, the reenactment. I felt bad because she never gave rights for that to happen.
And it brought it all up again for her.
Yeah, so it's re-traumatising for her.
But I've got to say, she's got a good sense of humour because she was in the Borat movie.
Yeah,
Remember Borat kidnaps her, tries to kidnap her?
Yeah.
Oh, and she was obviously in on the joke. Anyway, why are we talking about Pamela Anderson?
Where are we? What are we talking about?
What are we talking about? Thinking music.
Thinking music. We've had talking to Nazeem. Okay, thinking music. Well, we can't play Prince. Can we play a movie with... Can we play the trailer to that Prince movie? No. Can we...
Purple Rain.
Why don't we just play...
Purple Rain.
Why don't we just play a bit of...
Dave Chappelle.
And
we're going to let Courtney, our producer, pick something out that won't offend anyone.
Well, the problem is, and if I bring up one of the ones that really made me laugh, I'm sure it's going to be offensive. Man. So therefore, we'll get Courtney we'll get Sam to do it.
Sam or Courtney.
They
can get together.
They can get together and they can work out what's not going to be offensive. Because
good luck.
Dave and I would pick probably something offensive, and we don't want to condone it, but we certainly do hope you laugh.
Okay, here we go.
I hope you find this one funny.
Me too.
I was one of those kids, I just grew up watching television. Like when I was young, I used to watch that old Batman TV show. Yeah, but I was watching it the other day, man, and it just hit me. Kapow! Batman never fights crime in neighborhoods that need it. Because I would love to see Batman fight crime in my neighborhood. And I could see now he just, Robin. Yes, Batman. Didn't we park the car right here, man?
Oh, well done, guys, picking that bit out. Well done. I'm going to go first with my guess. I think they're related. That's the only thing I can think of, Dave Chappelle and Prince.
Yeah.
I would say second cousins.
Yeah, I said live next door to one another.
Oh.
Yeah, because remember we had, what's the name the other week, where you babysat for Keanu Reeves?
Alice Cooper. And also we had the writer of To Kill a Mockingbird used to share an apartment block with Hall & Oates. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
You're out of touch. Okay.
So,
what is the answer, Sam?
Dave Chappelle did a character of the artist formerly known as Prince. Prince got Dave Chappelle to pose for the album cover of Breakfast Can Wait that came out in 2013. The artwork features Dave Chappelle dressed as Purple Rain near a Prince, serving pancakes, a scene from his 2004 sketch Charlie Murphy's True Hollywood Stories.
What?
Yeah.
You have been listening to Somehow Related with Glenn Robbins and Dave O'Neill.
I've been on Spicks and Specs 68 times. I did not know that fact.
There you go.
That's how
That's how
Wow.
this show is. that it takes. So that's what Sam gets this information. I don't know where she gets it
incredible.
from, and takes you down a road. Which
I
is,
love that.
Which is a really nice thing. Well, a fun thing to do if you like the portrayal of you. If I did an impersonation of you, and then you put out a book, and then you put on your front page of your book, you put me doing an impersonation of you.
It's weird.
It's weird, but it's kind of fun, and it's kind of arty, and it's kind of different.
Yeah, shows he's got a sense of humour.
Yeah. Maybe we can bring it up and leave it on our Facebook or something. The picture of
You know who would have been upset by that? Weird Al, because he asked. Like I said, he asked Prince if he could parody his songs, and Prince said no. Then all of a sudden, he wakes up one day and he's got another comedian on the front of his record.
Yeah, because Prince is out of control, whereas he does this, he's in control. It's my decision, not your decision.
Yeah.
So therefore, I will decide. You won't decide what you do to make me look funny. But he saw it, thought it was hilarious.
Well, still, would have been a bad day in the Yankovic house, wouldn't it? When he wakes up and sees that.
I must admit, whenever I heard that Weird Al, I did think to myself, I wonder if he's got permission to do what he does.
Yeah, he does. He does. For example, Kurt Cobain from Nirvana loved it and said, "Yeah, go for it." When he did a parody.
And if you don't, they could sue.
Yes,
because they're losing lyrics and like musical sounds and that sort of thing. So therefore, it's suable.
Yes, in America, yeah, he has to get permission.
Well, here's an interesting thing
because I met Weird Al several times.
But if I wanted to write a book about you, I could write a book about you, and I wouldn't have to tell you.
No, that's right.
Which I think is terrible. And people can do it. Mind you, whatever you've done, if it's in the public place, you can write about it.
So I'm looking through Glenn's briefcase and he's got a draft copy of a book called My Fat Friend.
Yeah, well...
My Fat Funny Friend.
I've always thought that there was a story in it. And I thought, and the journey's not over. I'm just waiting for you to do something. To the part of the book where you should do something sort of
extraordinary.
You get caught in a public toilet doing something inappropriate, and it should I'm waiting for it to happen, and then I'm going to go down hard. And I've been collecting photographs over the years.
Is that you at the urinal?
Yeah, because there are impressive things about you that people don't know.
My fat funny friend.
My fat funny
friend.
What would you call if hang on, if there. Did I ask you this question? I did ask you this question the other day. Will I ask you again?
Writing a book about you.
If someone who doesn't like you wrote a book about you, what would the title be?
He Stole My Chips.
That's good.
What about you? What would your
What
is it called when you're cutting on the wave? What's that called?
Dropping in.
He dropped in on
me. Yeah. Not as good as he thinks he is.
Ah.
Yeah. Or takes himself a bit too seriously.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, takes himself very, very serious. How serious can this guy take himself? A lot. That's the whole title.
For a very long time.
Well, because I take myself very seriously. So therefore, But an interesting thing to ask yourself, because then you get to go, okay, here's what maybe I don't like about myself, and you get to admit it.
It's very deep.
Is it?
Anyway,
how I found that? I asked AI.
Yeah, right.
I was doing a radio segment for a radio station, and I had ran out of ideas. And I said, AI, can you give me some questions I can ask for talkback?
That's right.
And AI came up with it.
Gee, this is an AI. We're not AI, are we? Not yet.
What? No?
No.
That's the faxing noise.